But no, I think it's a gift, and I think it's what makes me me. And I really don't think it was something that hurt this book. I think it probably hurt the eyes of my editor for a little bit. But I think it allows me to bring things together. So, like, for instance, I start out the book and I have a quote from President Xi, who had wanted to have a world court system that could bring forth somebody, of course, and he's Mr. Social Credit, and, he's Mr. CBDC, a world court system where they could charge anybody anywhere. And this is the system he created, or this is the system of that creation. Whether he's the source of it or not, that's up to you to consider. But there, we'll park that.
So, Lisa, I'm sorry, I interrupted you with my amazement at the fact that you can write such a book when you're dyslexic. So thank you for that explanation. But where we were at was you were talking about your 25-year career as a lawyer, your degrees, and how this makes you a high-level thinker. And so we were talking about those sort of mindware concepts within that framework.
Yeah, and so I wrote the book. And I kept scrapping it and going back and scrapping it and going back, and I kept collecting the titans. But I wanted to see what were the messages that were coming out of it. And so I've told you the speech program, and I want to tell you how it affects lawyers. And so imagine you can use a speech committee, like with the Law Society of Ontario or Bill 21 in BC, that has the ability to remove from practice all lawyers who would defend anybody or prosecute the government for overreaches of power on any of the issues that we've highlighted, right? So any of the pillars of the globalist state. And in so doing, this rogue power that is just an administrative body that is not part of our Constitution has succeeded in checking out all the lawyers. Then that means the perfection of the Constitution, which is the the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary, no longer works because there's no longer anybody to file the cases, right? To file the cases for executive, administrative, legislative overreach. That is not an accident. When you park this issue and you make speech that lawyers have, and that's what I came up with in my mind. I said, if this system attacks lawyers, we're hooped. If this system attacks lawyers, we're hooped, because everything will look the same. You'll have the courts, right? But no one's filing the cases. It makes them completely redundant. It's attacked the Constitution, right? So we have this high-level concept that we have no longer a constitutional perfection. We've changed the society that we've lived in. So I want to park that on the communism.
And I'm going to jump in with something, if you don't mind, just in support of everything you've just said. Because as you say, if they attack the lawyers, now we're really screwed. And I'm sure you're aware of the case here in Alberta with Roger Song, who's a lawyer here. He grew up in China under that kind of totalitarian regime, and he is currently suing the Alberta Law Society for their DEI policies